back. Is Theresa May gone?
No, there was a leadership challenge against John Major towards the end of his time in office in 1995 or 1996, and he survived that. I think there may well be the 48 MPs who don't like Theresa May, and there's some very ambitious wannabe prime ministers like Boris Johnson around. But I just question, looking at the 315 Conservative MPs altogether, whether there's a majority there for plunging the party into probably its worst ever post-war crisis, organising a bitterly contested election fight, and all the time with Brexit hanging over the party. So even if she has to go to a no-confidence vote, I can't tell. I can't speak for the Conservative MPs, of course. I think she might survive it.
And what about the deal itself, the agreed agreement with the EU? Is that now effectively dead? What do you think is going to happen there?
Well, again, we have to wait and see. I think now if there is a leadership election, or no confidence vote, that certainly complicates matters. But again, what puzzles me in all of this is that there are about 20 MPs, maybe not even 20, of both the Conservative and Labour Party, who occupy 95% of all the media place. They do the interviews, they give the quotes, they talk about Brexit for and against. And then you've got the other 300, 280, 90, 70 Tory MPs who nobody ever hears of. They're mainly middle-of-the-road guys. They're very conscious that if they plunge their party and the government into a complete crisis, an economic collapse over rejecting what Mrs May has brought back from Brussels, well, it's unlikely to be the Conservative Party that benefits from that. That's just my estimation at the moment. So right now it's so utterly feverish with all the excitement after 2 years of very poor negotiations, and then the words from Brussels, and it's quite clear, as it always was quite clear, the promises of people like Boris Johnson and the others who said, just leave Europe, we can negotiate all this in a week, it'll be wonderful, Britain's going to have a terrific new future. They've all been proved false, and now we've just got to work our way through this great crisis. At the end of the day, British politics is fairly conservative, small c and big C. The Labour Party is quite a conservative party. I just question that we're going to become like a lot of crazy Latin Americans screaming at each other and denouncing each other and voting each other in and out all the time. But, you know, call me in a week and I maybe completely have to revise my opinion 100%.
And Denis, as you say, a feverish atmosphere there in London. Lots of people still calling for another Brexit referendum. Is it time, do you think, to go back to the people?
Well, I've always thought that, firstly because the first referendum was one with a lot of cheating, a lot of funny money, incredible leaflets coming through my door on the eve of the referendum saying Turkey will be joining the EU, Syria and Iraq and Serbia and Albania will be joining. Complete and utter lies, and a huge press campaign going back more than a decade against Europe. And at the end of the day, only 37% of the total British electorate voted for Brexit. It doesn't have a majority of voters on the electoral register. And a curious fact is, there's a new opinion poll today showing 56% would like a new referendum. Since June 2016, there are about 700,000 people who die each year, mainly elderly people, just in the normal course of events. The old in England voted massively against Europe for Brexit. Well, we've lost, sadly, for their families, but maybe more than 1 million of them. And at the same time, about 700,000 young Brits arrive on the electoral register aged 18 each year. So they are now able to vote, and they vote massively in favour of Europe. So if there were a new referendum, I don't want to say it's not, you can't just read it straight across, but a lot of the people who are hostile to Europe, nostalgic for the Second World War, nostalgic for the Empire, not very keen on black people and Europe people and other people coming into living in Britain, they passed on. And new British electorate is slowly emerging, which I think would probably vote to stay in.
OK, thank you so much for your time this afternoon, Denis. That's Denis Macshane, former British Minister of European Affairs.